afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the annual Cedarfield Residents Association meeting. Our first order of business is the invocation and
Please join me in prayer. Dear God, who watches over us all, we invite you to join our family in meeting today. We ask you to bless those who have served so well this past year with thanks from our community. We ask you to give strength and compassion to those who step up to fill those positions. And always remind us that we are a family. Those who work here, those who live here, we are your family.
okay. The next order of business is the approval of the minutes from last year's Residents Association meeting. I'm sure everybody will remember those, and if there are no comments, I'll accept the motion for approval. Yeah, I'm sure we did one read. Do we have a second? All in favor? And that's everybody, the whole association. What? Hold on, my wife's telling me something. Don't anybody know where Amy is, do you? I assume she was not here, I didn't see her. Okay, next is the Denise Kula. Who is here? Cedar Chest and shop at 2300.
First report I'm going to give is regarding the Cedar Chest. The Cedar Chest is rocking and rolling. Our recent auction was a huge success, netting over $1,400. Once again, we thank everyone who supported us, and we hope you enjoy your new purchases. For those of you who may be new or even living here and don't know what the Cedar Chest is, here's a short rundown. First, we are located on the second floor in B Wing. Second, we are a resale shop with items mostly donated by our residents. Clothing, accessories, and household items are our specialty. We are open for sales every other Thursday from 10 to 11, that's not true. We are open for receiving every other Thursday from 10 to 11:30. And every other Thursday for sales from 10:30 to 1:30. We hope you will consider donating to us as well as shopping in the store. Thank you for your support. Okay. The shop at 2300. The shop at 2300 has a very special announcement today. After almost 2 years of being in existence, we are proud to announce our first gift to Cedarfield Philanthropies. Many volunteers and shoppers have made it possible to award these gifts. Thank you to everyone who has supported the shop. It is with enormous pride that I announce that $3,000 is being given to each of the following: the Scholarship Fund, the Angel Fund, and the Samaritan Fund. We are very, very proud of this accomplishment. And of course, we hope to get more in the future. Be on the lookout for new, exciting additions to the shop. Sharon McCrone and I have been meeting with vendors to select new merchandise to enhance the shop. For those of you who have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, we are creating a brand new department for you. It will be coming soon. So gift items. And thanks to all of you who support the shop at 2300. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Amy Chapman, Executive Director.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry I was late. I was actually working with 15 students from VCU's Department of Masters of Health Administration. And I will say, in years past, they had no questions. This year, they had a lot of questions. They were all good. So you might see them at the end of this meeting touring the community. They're really excited to be here. Just a few announcements to share with everyone. The first is about occupancy. We are currently at 91% occupied in independent living. We have many new residents moving in within the next few months. During the month of February, we had 3 resident families move in. During the month of March, we have 1 scheduled, and then we have 5 scheduled for the month of April and 5 scheduled for the month of May. We are probably more selective than some of our other competitors, so please continue to share with your friends not to wait too late to apply to live here at Cedarfield. We know many of them are counting on being part of our family here, and we want to make sure that they have the best opportunity of passing our tests and joining us. Rehab services. Cedarfield and our partner at Functional Pathways continue to work together to provide therapy services to our residents. As I announced a few months back, the team at Functional Pathways has changed the way it compensates their team members, their therapists in particular. Therapists are now being paid for units of time that they are providing hands-on care to clients. Please do all that you can do to arrive on time for appointments and make sure that you cancel appointments well in advance so that the therapist can schedule another client if you can't be there. This is a change for many of the therapists, and we want to make sure that they feel comfortable with the change and ensure that they have enough time to be compensated for the time they spend with the residents. Medicare services. We continue to provide Medicare services for residents at Cedarfield who qualify for such therapy after a 3-day hospitalization. Our goal is to be able to provide the same service for others as well. We have limited our external candidates over the last several months to just residents that we know at other Hermitage campuses and others that might be connected to Cedarfield. Our team meets on a daily basis to look at bed availability and project who may be in the hospital and who we might be able to provide Medicare services for post-hospitalization. Please let your friends and family know that we're now at the point that we're accepting others from the outside who might be hospitalized and need a skilled care service stay as well. If you have any questions about that, please contact me, Kate Seiler, our Associate Executive Director, or Brittany Ingram Atkins, who serves as our Healthcare Administrator. Lastly, I'm going to talk about snow. It's almost March. I'm crossing my fingers and my toes that this might be the last time I talk about snow. This winter has been an exceptionally challenging one when it comes to snow. Cedarfield made this decision a few years back to use outside contractors for snow removal, and we utilize the services of James River. We have created a snow removal and treatment priority list, and will continue to use this for the guide for us for this winter season. After the winter is over, James Hicks, along with our facilities committee, will work to tweak the plan and firm up communications so that residents know what to expect in advance in case it snows. During winter weather, just in case we have some more over the next few weeks, please refer to channel 974 for updates or the Cedarfield app for weather communications. Thank you.
Acro, Sally Wood.
Thank you. We've had a very busy and successful couple of months, and we've had two recent programs that attracted. The first one in January with Catherine Henderson, which dealt with the horrors of what occurs when you don't have proper instruments before and after your death. And that attracted 96 participants. And then we moved on in February to the one that deals with Atul Gawande's book, Being Mortal. This attracted 125 people who attempted to get into the program. And as you might have heard, I think there's been a lot of conversation about that particular program, that we had a panel discussion. And some really rock stars are involved. Melissa Ellison, independent living social worker, Catherine Henderson in her role as a chaplain, Ann Hopper as a nurse, and also the rock star Dr. Greg Cook. And I thank them now again for doing such a lovely job. And I do want to thank particularly Charlotte Bailey, who in starting up a new committee, took on the role of organizing this trilogy of lectures and programs, and she really has worked so very hard. And part of what I'm supposed to say is that Charlotte Bailey has a handout about acquiring a bracelet or a necklace indicating you have a DNR. That's an important issue that came up on February's lecture or program. DNR, do not resuscitate, which is when you have go into cardiac arrest or you stop breathing. And Melissa Ellison is working with the population here of residents and also in acquiring the DNR and giving them other information to detail this in total. And look out for March the 21st, Jennifer Moss, Outreach and Education Director for Bliley's Funeral Home in Richmond. And she is coming to talk about writing your obituary. It's a workshop. She will supply a free booklet. And I know this is all getting very heavy, this trilogy, but I've taken her course at the University of Richmond OSHA program, and it's fun. It's down memory lane, and she's fond of saying, I'm gonna help you write your own obituary so you'll get in it what you want and you won't get in it what you don't want. So that's the nature of that class. And then I'm in charge of the April program that Dr. Tracy Gendron, and she'll be here, and she's the author of Ageism Unmasked, Exploring Age Bias and How to End It. She was a speaker at a luncheon last spring that lasted, her speech lasted 10-15 minutes, and you could talk about ageism for about 5 years. So she will tell you about how to protect yourself and how you manipulate it, and sort of saying, it exists. There's no question ageism is a problem in this country, if not around the world. Tracy has a master's degree in gerontology, a master's degree in psychology, and a PhD in developmental psychology. And I've been asked too by Kay Summers, who's our program chair. Please let us know any programs you'd like us to have. Our programs are usually in response to someone coming up to us and saying we're worried or even scared about some issue that affects our age group. And they particularly come to Mother Charlotte Bailey, and that's how we get a lot of our suggestions, but you can spread the wealth and let Kay Summers know, if not me. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Sally. You should have received the minutes from the January Residents Council meeting. Are there any corrections or additions to those minutes?
The veterans that are going to DC, that is honor flight, even though it says flight from this area, they go by bus. So the minutes need to be corrected to read that they go to Midlothian to the VFW.
What was said is that the honor flight to Washington is by bus. It is not a flight, and we'll correct that in the minutes. I have one myself. As you know, Marty Rittenhouse was elected to be the secretary-elect for the remainder of this year. Although it didn't say it, that nomination was made by the nominating committee. It was seconded and was voted on, and she was unanimously elected. With that said, are there any other additions, or do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Have a motion? Second? Second. All in favor? Okay. Well, the next thing on here is something I've been looking forward to. Every year, the Residents Council has the opportunity to give something called the Vision Award. And the Vision Award recognizes a team member who represents, I quote, a culture in which age does not define the person. We had several nominees this year, and thank you for doing those. One in particular, we felt met that criteria very well. This particular person makes no difference whether you're 6 or 96. He treats everyone the same. Newcomer, guest, family member, you think this person knows you. And no matter what age you are, this person is always personable, kind, funny, caring pest. Sydney Chen, would you please come forward? Some of what was written about you. I want you to know we gave you the award despite. No. Go ahead. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you. First report is finance.
I know, I have to.
The Finance Committee met with
That's why I was asking you the other day
January
what the work
28th.
schedules were.
We discussed the results of the first 6 months of the fiscal year, which runs June 1st to November 30th. And we reviewed the statement of activities for Cedarfield. David Taylor reviewed the Cedarfield statement of activities and compared actual year-to-date with budget year-to-date. Total operating revenues were slightly under budget, about $32,410, due to a decrease in resident fees. But Medicare revenue had not been budgeted and
and produced $147,822. This helped provide income. Total operating expenses were also under budget. They were $316,026. Although dining is still slightly over budget. This resulted in the change in net assets from operations to be positive and over budget. In the non-operating changes, they were also over budget due to investment income and contributions. So our final result is positive. The capital projects as of November 30th totaled $4.6 million, with the largest expenditures being apartment and cottage renovations. They were $1.4 million. EFFA's window replacement phase was $1.2 million, and building renovation of Fellowship Hall and lobby, $1.1 million. David also reviewed the statements for Hermitage Capital and Reserve Corporation, which we say HCRC. $3,029,000 was transferred from HCRC to purchase Hermitage 3 Chop. $6,460,000 was transferred from HCRC to purchase Hermitage Deep Run. Pinnacle also transferred $3 million into HCRC to be invested. The purpose of this entity is to provide assistance to the other entities that Pinnacle owns. The total net assets of HCRC as of November 30 were $40,248,231. Pretty good total. Now I'm attaching the statement for Cedarfield and also an organizational chart showing the Pinnacle entities. Now, Cedarfield is a part of Pinnacle Obligated Group, and this enables us to qualify as a nonprofit. Besides each of the entities, I have put the year they came into existence. And I'll just read them for you now, but you'll have the chart to look at. The corporate office in Hermitage Richmond came into being in 1948. That started everything. Hermitage Roanoke was 1964. Cedarfield is 1996. Pinnacle Advantage is 2018. Hermitage 3 Chop and Hermitage Deep Run, which I just referred to, 2024. That's what makes up the obligated group. And we work as a total. They also, of course, have Windsor Mead, which was started in 2008, and the Hermitage Capital and Reserve Corporation was started in 2013. So I thought you might be interested in knowing a little bit about the history, because things have changed over time. Some of the Hermitage Group has been sold and was put into Hermitage Capital and Reserve, but this is what exists right now. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Library, Sally Wood. You're on again. You gonna do the library report? Okay.
We're doing very well in the library. And I'm sorry, I didn't really think I had a report, but do always sign out your books. It always helps. And I hope you're seeing that we're into a steady little stream of doing, and the 30-some people that work in the library need to be thanked for their work. And how many of you are on the library committee that are in this room? Okay, you can go thank them. And thank you. Any questions?
Welcome Committee, Win Combs, and Pat Sullivan.
Thank you. It has been a great pleasure for Pat and me to chair the Welcome Committee this year. What fun it has been to meet over 50 new residents and to help make their moves happy and less stressful. Pat prepared a folder for each new resident with detailed information about life at Cedarfield. Do you want to tell them a little bit about that, or just, it includes maps, the activities, dining, trips, exercise programs, healthcare, and so forth. So I hope that's been a help to you new residents. I personally delivered each folder and tried to answer any immediate questions or problems. Then the area representatives followed up by welcoming newcomers to their individual neighborhoods. We hosted several welcome dinners throughout the year for small groups of new residents to meet each other. This is the invitation that went out. Then a luncheon was held in November at the clubhouse to express appreciation to the welcome ambassadors and area representatives. And you've already heard that Dr. Tracy Gendron, who spoke at that meeting, is going to come back and give us all a program. So that should be very interesting. A new Spread the Welcome program ran the first week of each month on channel 974, so you've all seen that. And that offered suggestions for established residents to introduce an interesting activity to the new residents in our community. We'd like to congratulate our energetic and enthusiastic marketing department for promoting Cedarfield as Richmond's premier senior living community. Therefore attracting so many wonderful new residents. Finally, our best wishes go to Ravi Ravindranath and Donna Koenig, who will head the Welcome Committee for the coming year.
I just wanted to, I was visual support today, you can tell. I just wanted to add a special thank you to some residents who helped us start 2 new initiatives this year. Grace Ann Miller and Mary Ann Bagby helped us start Park Pals. And this has been a very successful program. They offered their time to take people, new residents, into the park for the first time, show them how to get in and out of the gate and how to navigate the park. And we are most appreciative of them doing that. Also, we had Fred Bullock and George Woolley help us start the Connection Squad. We gave them that name. And they would show up when a resident moved in and get their television connected or their devices. And you all know how incredibly important that is when you first move in. So just a special thank you to them specifically.
Well, Mr. Lee, your take McCormick.
I'm subbing for Nancy Springman, who is in Arizona, a little bit warmer than we are right now. But what we want to do is to talk about the changes in the way that youth register for trips in in-house programs. I want everyone to go home and get their March and form out and turn to page 41 and read it several times so you fully understand what's going on. it talks about the current system that had been used ever since, I guess, 3, 4, 5 years ago, where when you signed up for a program or registered for a program, whether or not you got it was based on the first letter of your last name. All right, that's gone away. It ended in February. Fortunately, coincided with the end of the alphabet. The one for the new system is one of random selection. Each registration form will be machine shuffled just like a deck of cards before entering into the selection system. Katrin bought this machine. I haven't seen it, but she says it works great. So every registration form will be shuffled and come out in a specific order for the programs. So it's just like bingo games in Cedarfield. Anyone who plays has a chance to win a spot on the bus or a seat in the program. The current policy about who is selected will continue into the new system. And this is important for you, and it's important for wellness and leisure, and it's important for the staff and wellness and lifestyle, is if a program or trip you recommend to Katrin or Georgia or Carol Thompson is subsequently scheduled, you will be given priority to go on that trip if you let Katrin know. So come up with ideas. If you got things that you think that we would like to see or they would like to see, please make the suggestion. I want to talk about the future, which is also mentioned on page 41. Within the next few months, a hybrid registration format will begin where you can sign up for programs and trips online through the My Cedarfield app or using the current paper registration form. Registration by either method will be shuffled and entered into the selection system. There will be no particular priority if you sign up online or by paper. Please look out for more information on forthcoming training sessions with the My Cedarfield app online system for phones, pads, laptops, and desktop computers. We hope to have those sessions in small groups or in one-to-one formats. Right now, a good place to start would be on Tuesday, March 11th, at the My Cedarfield workshop at 10 p.m. in the Prima Club Room. Thank you very much.
As you know, we're going to have an election at the end of this meeting and elect some new people. So I would like for Charlotte Eaton will come up and tell you who the new committee chairs are going to be.
To all of those who volunteered and agreed to serve, thank you. It was like pulling teeth, even though I'm not a dentist in some instances. I get a lot of questions about how do you get on a committee or how do you become a committee chair. And we're going to be working on that this year to come up with, is there an easier way to do it other than we walk down the hall and say, hey, please, would you help me out? Or gee, I want to serve. And then I get people say, it's a real complicated process. I'm thinking, would you like to serve? And then I get the back off. So to the 13 people who agreed to either continue serving or serve next year, thank you very much. And to those I've met this year, as you have done your committees, thank you very much for letting me come and learn so much about what you do to make this place work. Communications Committee has a new chair this year, Phyllis Katz, and thank you to Carol Lehman for serving in the past. Jim Fahrenholt will continue on dining. Frank Miller is taking on a new role as chair of the Environmental Committee. Ann Williams will continue on Facilities Committee. Carol has given us another year on Finance Committee, Carol Marco. Louisa Rucker will continue on the Flower Guild. Roger Dowdy will be doing gardening. Dr. Marianne Johnson will continue on Health Services. Sally Wood, after getting us through all the changes during construction in the library, has agreed to continue to serve as chair of the Library Committee. Jane Kelly, who gave our invocation today, will be our new Religious Life Committee chair. Ray Godman will continue on safety. We have new names for welcome, and it will be our chair, who will be Donna Koenig, and our vice chair, who will be Robin Donath. And then Wellness and Leisure, Nancy Springman has agreed to continue for another year. So I look forward to working with all of them this year. And as always, if you have things that you think need to come before a committee, let somebody on council know so that your problems can be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. One thing I might mention that happened this year, and it worked very, very well, is that Amy Chapman assigned a team member to each of the committees. And what that made possible was for many issues to be resolved right on the spot. So I take a note and get it done, and we certainly appreciate that also, Amy. Are there any questions or comments or old business or new business?
Without his having any idea. So I just decided, well, raise your hand and be heard. But it has been an incredible pleasure to act as secretary with many, many mountains to climb. Frank has made them so much easier for me, and I thank him so very much. Not only for all the help and support he's given, but all these months, but also for the beautiful arrangement that sits in Town Center. So it's been a delight. Now it's my turn to do something for Frank, and he needs to open this. And you'll never guess. Yes. Now on this it says, "Smooth sailing, Skipper Frank. Well done, now for fun." Now, what he doesn't know is that in a week or two, there will be a model ship coming for Frank to assemble. And this way, we don't ever want him to be bored. We want him to have busy hands or happy hands. So, all the best to you, Frank, and thank you for everything. That's a good business.
Thank you so much. Are there any area reps that would like to say anything or would like to introduce a new resident? Mike and Carol, are you here? Stand up a minute, if you would. My new next door neighbors. Okay, I said Carol, Mike and Jane, I'm sorry. I seem to remember the next door neighbors are. Anybody else want? These people that are standing up, you want to do something, please?
I'm Stacy Kleinville, and I was looked at straight on by Pat Albers and Joy Davidson. And I knew what they wanted, so I am the chairman of Area 6. And we have meetings Sunday evening, and we welcome the Lions.
Thank you. Did everybody see who that was? Because that you need to meet her and say hello to her before the meeting's over. Is there anyone else? Don or John?
Frank, Area 16, Alice and I are being replaced by Ann and Jim Hodnett. It's area reps right back there.
And Jim, stand up and John, you might want to say who Ann and Jim brought with them. our new philanthropy coordinator is their daughter. Anybody else? Please, over here.
Yes, Terry Ford,
Right.
new Terry's manager. Ricky Thornton.
I know Frank is happy, you're both happy to have Ricky, because Ricky's taking over as the area rep, is that not correct? Okay.
Robert Ortiz, Area 9, Blue Ridge.
Not someone who wrote that article in the newspaper. I want to get that out of the way.
Robert also has agreed to be an area rep. Why is this happening? Please? Carol?
From Area 3 and Warren Way has graciously accepted the honor of being Terry Brown.
They've only been here a short time, but I tell you, they've joined everything here that I think you can join. Appreciate Warren is also going to be the new area rep. Anyone else? Okay, it's time for nominations. Nominating committee, Ann Williams.
At our last meeting, I reported that members of the nominating committee, which were Denise Pecula, Don Branson, and me, had found 3 individuals willing to serve Cedarfield as officers of the Residence Council. At the January meeting, Marty Rittenhouse was elected to serve as secretary-elect for that meeting and this meeting. Therefore, starting March 1, Marty becomes secretary of Residence Council. She's already been elected. Yay, Marty. And then we have 2 people who have agreed to serve as officers of next year's Residence Council. President-elect will be Helen Horwitz. Helen, would you stand? And the secretary-elect is Suzanne here. Yes, right at the back of the room. Suzanne Fountain will be secretary-elect. As prescribed by the bylaws, I posted those 2 names outside the internal mailroom on the bulletin board for a month. I have received no additional nominations with consent of the nominee. Therefore, I nominate Helen Horwitz to become president-elect and Suzanne Fountain to serve as secretary-elect for the 25-26 Residence Council term.
We can divide those up, but anybody, by any chance at all, want to recommend somebody else or offer the name? And I think we could do both of them together. Do I have a second to that, the nomination of the nominating committee?
Second.
We have a nomination and a second, and this is the Residents Association, so everybody here can vote. Please say aye if you're for. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, I take care of that. Thank you both for offering to do that. Well, I guess the time has come, and I really thank all of you for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure for me to work with all of you and work for you a little bit, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. Among other things, you taught me how to use the calendar on my phone for meetings, maybe too well. And I thought that I would get through the agenda once without having Sally have to tell me something, but instead of forgetting Sally this time, I have put her on the agenda, and she might put her on the agenda. But I would also like to thank your officers, your committees, your area reps, the people that Amy has had come to our meetings and help us solve things on the spot. And I hope that maybe you will remember Tommy Brennan and me when you stopped for the stoplight at our entrance. And maybe even better when all the cars on 3 Chop Road stopped for you. But Tommy was a big help in that. And I hope that everybody really enjoys this place where we live. And something, my remembrance for today is that you're not old until your regrets take the place of your dreams. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Thank you very much.